Silver, unbelievable. Gold, unbelievable. We are living through a watershed moment right now in the history of precious metals. We have some crazy data that we're going to look at today based on what happened on Friday and what it tells us about what we might expect in the future. We've got news from all around the world, Australia, China, even the United Kingdom, about what is happening right now in the precious metals market that will impact the future prices. We're going to hear from the silver billionaire. Yes, that guy. He put out an incredibly astonishing tweet that we're going to cover. And we're going to talk about $500 silver. Another analyst saying that now we could get to $500 even sooner than what we had anticipated in the past. One thing for sure, it's going to be a wild ride when the markets open this evening. Who knows what's going to happen? We could be up $10 or $20. We could be down $10 or $20, but we're going to focus on the long term, on the facts, on the fundamentals that we know are going to make the big difference in the silver and gold market as we head into the months, quarters, and years. But we're going to do it together because you're with me down here in the basement. Thank you so much. This is not possible without you. You're important. Your time is valuable. So thank you from myself and upstairs Susie. Please hit the subscribe button. We're running that special still for all of 2026. All of this content, all of this camaraderie. We want you back. Hit subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section because your thoughts, they do matter. And we can learn from each other. And super chats, never expected, always appreciated. Let's dig in first to some crazy facts about what happened on Friday in the market and what it's telling us about what to expect. The first thing we're going to look at is January. The Wall Street Mav brought this up. Oh, January was horrible. Absolutely horrible month for silver. Silver started January 1st at $70 per ounce and ended at $85 per ounce. A paltry 20% gain for the month. So there we go, guys. Silver was up for the month of January, but wait, there's more, because then we get this from the Kobisi letter, right? One of the most respected financial news outlets out there. They said this is absolutely insane. Silver fell as much as 35% on Friday, its largest intraday drawdown in history. I want to touch on that quickly before we get to the next incredible fact. They're saying it was a 10 sigma decline, which is like a standard deviation measurement. Anyway, 10 sigma, guys, the odds of that happening are like 1 in 1 with 24 zeros behind them, and that's years. 1 out of like a billion is 9 zeros. So 1 year out of 1 with 24, that's like a billion times a million. It's incredible. But that's not the big thing we want to look at here, because another great thing about silver in red, yet silver prices closed the month in green. We just talked about that. And green is the important part. I apologize. This means silver has now risen for 9 straight months. Okay. History is an understatement. That's another record. Silver has never gone up 9 straight months in a row. Okay, but wait, there's even more when we look at the recent silver data, which comes from Nostra, House of Gold, that even after crashing 35% in one day, silver is still the best performing asset year to date. Silver is amongst, I mean, we're talking about a crash in silver. I mean, that's how weird this is. And we won't go down too far down this rabbit hole, guys, but what happened on Friday, I don't want to be the prophet of doom and gloom, because we like to keep a positive attitude, but what happened on Friday just ain't right. That's what they say here in Missouri, where I'm broadcasting from. It could be a sign. Some very smart people like Larry Lepard, we talked about this yesterday, is saying that this is like the equivalent of Lehman Brothers, which was the first domino to fall during the great financial crisis of 2008. Larry Lepard is highly respected in the world of sound money. He has a master's degree, I believe, and I'm 99% sure, from Harvard. I sent him an email like 5 years ago. I remember sitting in a field when I was believing in gold and silver when nobody else did. watching my daughter's softball camp in 100-degree weather saying, hey, I'd love to work from you. And I never heard back from him. Anyway, we could be in for some craziness, not just tonight in the silver and gold markets, but I think in the coming weeks and months, maybe in the general markets, maybe even in the economy. But I promised you we wouldn't go too far down that rabbit hole. Let's go to China. Let's go all around the world, okay? First, let's hit this one. Man, there is so much news right now. It's impossible to keep up with. My note page for this live stream alone was like 3 pages long. This one comes from, make sure I got the screen shared, which I don't. Sorry about that. Now you can see it. This one comes from No Limit, who's got a ton of followers on X, almost 500,000. Something crazy will happen on Monday. Wait a minute. I said I wouldn't be the prophet of doom. I'm looking at the spreads on precious metals right now, and they make 0 sense. Wait till you hear what's going on in the United Kingdom, what's going on in Australia, China. Gold price gap from Mumbai versus New York City, $283. Silver price gap in red from Hong Kong versus London, $13. He points this out in a normal, think about this, guys, in a normal market, algorithms destroy these spreads in microseconds, right? It's called arbitrage. Free money just doesn't sit on the table. And here's the whopper, unless the table is broken. And I think the table is broken. The fact that these gaps remain open proves one thing. Liquidity is drying up. The paper fake price you see on screens is detaching from the physical price, the real price needed to settle. This is a massive systematic red flag. Okay, next. Next, hold on. Let me look at you. Now let's go around the world. Sorry, a little more doom and gloom. And now we're going to go around the world. We're going to go to China first. We're going to hear from the Oriental Ghost, one of the most reliable sources of information about precious metals on the ground in China. And wait until you hear this. This is absolutely astonishing. Okay. Hello, Oriental Ghost. And I'll say one last time, we're sorry to hear about the passing of your mother. He was missing for like a week, and I was like really worried about the guy, but unfortunately his mother passed away. Okay. During the tumble of precious metals prices, how about the price of investment gold bars on China's largest e-commerce platform, JD.com? So this is the Chinese equivalent, okay, of Amazon.com in the West, right? This is incredible. The gold bar price is the equivalent of 5,700 US dollars. And in silver, I got that highlighted in silver, you may notice, the silver bar equivalent price in US dollars is at $163 per ounce today. We're going to have to take his word for it because I can't read, I think it's called Mandarin Chinese. I think it's very beautiful, but I can't read it. But there's the gold bar on JD.com. There is the silver bar. But wait, there's more. Now, right? People are saying, oh, there's plenty of, and let me touch on this. The big key takeaway there is that online sales, we talk about that in the United States, all the coin shops, local coin shops are saying, oh, sales of gold and silver down. Look, I love local coin shops, right? But let's be real. Okay. Online sales is the future. It's like comparing Amazon to the local mercantile store in a little downtown strip mall. Unfortunately, Amazon took over and took all the sales. The same thing's going on with the online bullion sales. In the United States, we're getting reports of, let's say, let's say stress, not shortages, but stress. But around the world, it's a different story. Like we just saw from China. Now let's go and see what's going on in the United Kingdom, the home of the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association. Wall Street Gold says this: the United Kingdom's largest precious metals dealer just shut its online shop. They shut it down. Okay. Last time this happened, coincidentally, silver went from $70 all the way to $118. And I think this is called Baird and Company. I went out last night and confirmed this. I didn't have a chance this morning. There's too much going on, but it was indeed, I forget what whatever that little brown message says like trading not available. Like basically, sorry, no gold for you, no soup for you, no silver for you either. But now we've got news from boots on the ground. Our big friend, Mr. B in Australia. What do you think's going on in Australia? He sent me, and I took a screenshot of it to share with you right now, what the big Australian online bullion dealers are doing. And this is super interesting because it comes from, there's the A. Here's a screenshot of the email that he got. Dear valued client, at Ainsley, I think it's called Ainsley, we pride ourselves on providing a stable, reliable trading environment, and being one of Australia's largest and oldest bullion dealers means we have a healthy stock levels and a track record of looking after our customers responsibly. Our mates, they call each other mates over there. We got people in this community from all over the world, guys. It's incredible. Thank you for sending in this great information. But due to a combination of extraordinary, I can't do an Australian accent, market volatility, and I get in trouble for doing accents. I got in trouble for doing a Chinese accent, but I can make fun of Missouri all I want because I'm just a hillbilly here in his basement. Due to a combination of extraordinary market volatility and an unprecedented surge in order volume, we have made the decision to temporarily, is that like when Nixon in 1971 temporarily took the United States off the gold standard? Ainsley is temporarily pausing trading until Monday morning after the market opens and we have a clearer picture of what will happen. Okay, very, very interesting. So that's the United Kingdom. After that, we had Australia, and now we're going to go to the mainstream media. Because the historic downtrend, the mainstream media never wants to talk about, never gives credit to gold and silver when they're doing well, like very little. And when they did, they were like very suspicious, like, oh, did you hear gold and silver are doing well? But wait, do you have a dog? You might want to protect your dog because he may be running off. I'll explain why right now as we go out to Market Watch. I'm so old. I think it used to be called CBS Market Watch, but anyway, it's called Market Watch now. One of the biggest mainstream sources of financial news, of course, had to rub it in. Silver suffers its biggest drop in 46 years with, quote, every man and his dog. Go check on your dog, okay? I'll let you walk away from the screen for a second. Every man and his favorite companion, his dog, rushing for the exit, quote unquote. So, of course, we're not even going to read this. It was a negative story about silver. And then some guy said, oh, yeah, we told you, right? Yeah, every man and his dog. We'll see what happens. Look, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't buy or sell stocks, bonds, mutual funds. Get married, get engaged, adopt a puppy, which I always say, right? Or do anything based on what I say. But I think that the coming months, quarters, and years are going to be unbelievable for the silver price. Let's switch gears to copper. And then I have a special message. I have a special sponsor for this video because copper is also getting a ton of focus lately, right? The big electrification of the world going on right now. You guys have been asking me about copper. Yes, I am personally very bullish on copper. I do own some copper mining stocks. I believe that copper, silver, and gold are going to do very, very well. But this came from Kobesi, and they say it right now, right? And again, this is Kobesi. How many followers? 1.3 million. They're big, and they put out some great information. And here they're saying a copper shortage is coming next. The world economy is projected to face a copper deficit of 10 million tons by 2040, the equivalent of 33% of current global demand. And with that, I want to share with you a video. It's about 7 minutes long, all about copper. Very interesting, the Trump administration. And it's from the special sponsor of today's video, Giant Mining. Price has been hitting historic all-time high levels, and the world's smartest billionaire investors are paying attention.
The asset that is set up to go absolutely parabolic is copper. And the reason is that it is, at least as it stands today, the most useful, cheap, amenable, conductive material that we have that material manifests in everything from our data centers to our chips to our weapon systems. It's just everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. And right now, Jason, we are on a path by 2040 where we will be short about 70% of the global supply at current course and speed. And so I will pick copper.
We're going to cover a topic that's at the very innermost core of the rearrangement of the economic and political world order. Copper demand is beyond belief. Supply is vanishing. Chile, the world's largest copper producer, sees production declining. Copper shortage is just a matter of time now. Copper is trading near all-time highs. Billionaire investing legend Stanley Druckenmiller on copper. He says, it's the tightest position I've ever studied. Billionaire Robert Friedland has called it, saying this.
We see metals go crazy when you need them. If somebody is pointing a gun at you, you need that copper to shoot back.
From 1990 through 2023, 239 major copper discoveries. Here's the problem. Time to develop mines has surged by about 40% to roughly 18 years. Around 90% of all major discoveries still need around 10 years to reach their first production. And then Robert Friedland had this to say.
To maintain global 3% GDP growth, we have to mine the same amount of copper in the next 18 years as we mined in the last 10,000 years. In the next 18 years, I've got to mine the same amount of copper as we mined in the last 10,000 years without electrification, without data centers, without solar and wind and the greening of the world economy. You people have no idea whatsoever what we're facing. You're dreaming.
The United States of America and China are battling over mineral supply chains and technological supremacy because globalization stepped out of equilibrium. And you can see just how when looking at the strategy both superpowers are taking. Trump uses tariffs and deregulation to begin the process of realigning mining and securing resources on U.S. soil, while China is using their near monopoly status, scale, and reserves to their advantage. Bloomberg expects copper demand to reach 40 million tons by the year 2040. Energy transition, data centers, chips, and robots will be the main drivers of demand. Today, I want to showcase a company that's actually trading near its one-year lows. Right now, down nearly 70% from its highs. The owner of the Majuba Hill Copper Project and past-producing mine in the state of Nevada. The sponsor of today's video, Giant Mining Corp., ticker symbol BFGFF. I'm very interested in Giant Mining Corp., and I'll say it again, Giant Mining has rarely, if ever, traded this cheap. I'm showcasing it to you at one of the lowest market caps in its history, and it began 2026 with a breakout over record-setting copper prices. U.S. ticker symbol BFGFF, available on Interactive Brokers, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, and E-Trade. Since President Trump's inauguration, his administration has aggressively pursued policies to secure U.S. mineral independence, with copper emerging as a flashpoint. Copper, vital for defense and AI infrastructure, underscores America's vulnerability to foreign dominance. And in February of 2025, President Donald Trump signed Executive Order 14220, initiating a Section 232 investigation into U.S. copper imports. The investigation, completed in June of 2025, identified a significant U.S. trade deficit and overcapacity from state-subsidized Chinese copper production, leading to a July presidential proclamation that imposed 50% tariffs on semi-finished copper products, including wires and cables, effective August 1st, 2025. He's repeatedly said that there's no rational price for copper when the metal is essential. Effective August 1st, 2025, the copper sector, in my view, entered a ground floor, seismic level opportunity, marking the beginning of a transformative new phase for the entire industry. What we've been seeing is the very first chance, in my view, to be part of the rebirth of the American copper mining business, and we can access it at its founding moment. Giant Mining, ticker BFGFF, owns a past-producing copper mine in Nevada, one of America's best and most cherished mining jurisdictions. Howard Lutnick summed it up when he said, "American industries depend on copper, and it should be made in America. No exceptions, no exceptions."
Our great American copper industry has been decimated by global actors attacking our domestic production.
President Trump added, "Copper should be made in America. It's time for copper to come home." Giant Mining's historic underground mines at the Majuba Hill Project produced copper, tin, and silver from the early 1900s to the 1950s, including 2.8 million pounds of copper, 184,000 ounces of silver, 5,800 ounces of gold, and 21,000 pounds of tin. I'll say it again. All of these factors and the following ones below are the ones that led to my significant interest in Giant Mining. The infrastructure is ready. Access roads, power supply, transportation, water supply, and or stockpiles. Do your homework on Giant Mining, ticker symbol BFGFF. Rick Rule, yes, that Rick Rule, said something very powerful about what we all went through on Friday, January 30th, 2026, that historic day in the world of silver and gold. We're going to talk about that, and he said it before it happened. We're also going to look at this $500 silver price prediction that could happen a lot sooner than we previously thought, and $200 million big announcement silver purchase. We'll get to that. Let's go check out what Rick Rule has to say first, and hold on here, get you on the full screen. Awesome. This was shared by Lucas, okay? He said, Rick Rule says, "We are in a bull market right now for metals. Don't waste it." He points out in the 70s, the gold price fell 3 times by 30% or more. Remember, the 1970s are when we had the greatest gains ever in the gold price, and the gold price fell 3 times by 30% or more. From 1971 to 1975, gold increased by 6x. From $35 to $200. In 1975, gold fell from $200 to $100. Everyone that got shaken out at $100 missed the move all the way to $850 by 1980. You have to prepare yourself financially and psychologically for 20 to 50% pullbacks. We're going to listen to Rick in 1 second. Let him say this in his own words. And he said this before what happened on Friday. But that's what we've been talking about for a long time on this channel, guys. Nothing goes straight up. Nothing. All of the previous gold and silver mega rallies that have occurred throughout history have had periods of big pullbacks, periods of big volatility. Now, what we experienced on Friday was absolutely historic, right? But that could actually be a good sign for things to come. We're going to talk about that after we listen to Rick Rule. This is just 1 minute long, but I think something very important for anyone who invests in the precious metal sector to realize. It gives us some solid wisdom.
Both ways. I remember myself back to that great bull market of the 1970s, the most epic bull market of my career. And I can remember very well, 3 different times in that decade where the gold price fell by 30% or more. One particular point in that decade, 1975, let me give you the history. 1970, the gold price is $35 US. Beginning of 1975, the gold price is $200, 6-fold move. And I'll tell you what, there were a whole bunch of people that believed in gold with the enthusiasm of a choir in a Pentecostal church, believing in God. In 1975, the price of gold fell from $200 an ounce to $100 an ounce. And many of those newfound believers wish they never learned to spell gold. All the belief that they had had at $200 evaporated when the price went down, when it was a better buy. And the people who got shaken out in 1975 at $100 missed a move from 100 to 850. The point of this is that you need to prepare yourself financially and psychologically for 20% pullbacks, 30% pullbacks, even 50% pullbacks. You need to understand your portfolio well enough that you have the conviction where price declines are opportunities as opposed to risks. The converse of that is that when you see spikes up, you need to harvest gains. You have not made the money until you've taken the money. Both ways.
Okay, what he said at the very beginning, which may have been cut off, is that volatility cuts both ways. And like he said, right, we know over the last, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, there were a lot of new people, and welcomed all the new people that got into the precious metals sector, right? People that were believing. And the same thing happened during the 1970s. Then the price dropped, right, precipitously. And all those people took off and sold, right? They weren't really truly having strong conviction for gold and silver. But those that held during that period, the price of gold went from $100 in 1975 all the way to $850. That's more than an 8 times increase. At current gold prices, that would probably be like $35,000 gold. And again, right, there's no guarantees this will happen. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, but I happen to be very bullish on the future of gold and silver. Let's talk about $500 silver and why now it could actually possibly, right, if it's going to happen in the short term, could happen sooner as opposed to later. Let's go out and take a look at what Gary Savage shared with us. I think this is a powerful post in green. As far as I can tell, only myself and Michael Oliver, who is like the king of technical analysis when it comes to gold and silver, understand what is going on in the metals market. I'm sure there are a few others. I just haven't seen them. In red, metals have completed the first part of the bubble phase of a very mature 26-year secular bull market. This correction should be recovered quickly. When it does, that will bring in the general public. And because we really haven't had the general public involved in this rally. And that is what drives the second part of the bubble phase. In yellow, the fact, that the corrective phase separating the first part from the second part wasn't allowed to play out naturally. It all happened instantly, right? On Friday, just guarantees the final top will be even higher. Friday's attack to rescue the banks from their short positions has significantly increased the odds that we could see my upper target level of $500 and do so within the next 6 to 8 months. The gains made during this first part have been mind-blowing, but you haven't seen anything yet. And then let's go out to, and there's a lot of people that agree with him and corroborate on that, but let's go out and see what our friend Rashad has to say about this. Okay, because Rashad points out something very, and we love Rashad. He's been real accurate as of late. He says and this is about gold, over the past 2 years, the gold's bull run, every correction has lasted 2 to 3 weeks with a 10 to 11% drawdown. However, the most recent correction as of January 29th and then January 30th, 2026, on day 2 produced 16%. As gold is approaching to a parabolic move, it is going to become more and more disorderly. Okay, big volatility, guys. And we looked at chart yesterday from the Weimar period in Germany when gold just absolutely exploded during their period right before World War II. There's going to be more volatility. I personally expect gold to nearly double from the present levels until year-end 2026. And when you look at this chart, it kind of makes sense. I want to point something out, right? The moves, if you look at this one here, right? This one here happened over a little shorter period of time. This one here happened over a little shorter period of time. And of course, what we had just in essentially 2 days happened because time is on the horizontal axis, even under an even shorter period of time. So the good news here, as I read into this, is that yes, there's good news and then there's a warning. The good news is that things are happening faster and faster and faster. Okay. The warning is that there will be big volatility. Okay. We don't know. None of us has a crystal ball. What's going to happen? I mean, where will the silver price be 1 year from now? You tell me. Where will the gold price be? Nobody knows for sure. But what we can see on the charts and what we can feel in our hearts, oh my gosh, that's a new one for us, basement dwellers. What we see on the charts and what we feel in our hearts is that things are happening much more quickly, much more extreme. What happened on Friday is not normal, period. That's an indication, right, that there's going to be more crazy things, very much likely, happening in the future. So when we see it on the charts and we feel it in our hearts, we know we got some big things coming. Okay, we got more. What about the billionaire? Did you hear this? Let's talk about the big takeaway out of this. But David Bateman, the silver billionaire, the new Hunt brothers. Remember the Hunt brothers? They're the ones that made the silver price go up in 1980. But there's a big difference because in 1980, that was all a paper-driven rally. We are in a physical driven rally. And what evidence does David Bateman, the new Hunt brothers, is what I call him personally, okay? But he's the new Hunt brothers with a little twist. He's about physical. He already owns over 13 million. He's starting to, become a rival to you in your stack because he owns 13 million ounces of silver. But wait till you hear the latest out of Mr. Bateman, the silver billionaire. Let's go check out and see what he said when he opened his mouth or his Twitter account just the other day. Let me go up to the top. There he is right there, and I'm sharing the wrong screen. Now you can see it. David Bateman. He said, I'll just read the whole thing and then we'll get to I've learned recently, right? There's all this trouble in local coin shops, all this trouble with refiners. Learned recently, local coin shops can't sell their lower grade junk silver because refiners aren't buying it because it's easier to refine 999 silver, and B, they're having trouble financing hedges against their existing inventories. This is creating congestion in the silver supply chain and causing demand destructions. In green, I'm not super up to speed on how the wholesale networks are structured, but okay, here we go, Mr. Bateman. And this is a big but, and I like big buts. I will not lie. I decided to allocate up to 200 million United States of America paper fiat, right? Make-believe fantasy island dollars, 200 million to help clear these backlogs of 90% constitutional silver. If anyone can point me in the right direction, I would appreciate it. Then a bunch of bullion dealers hopped on below and said, hey, I got some I can sell you. I got some. The billionaire is buying more, $200 million more, right? Not futures, right? He's not going to the COMEX or the LBMA and saying, hey, I want to buy some paper silver. No, Bateman, the billionaire, the smartest guy in the room, is buying physical. And he says the same thing. I forget how he said it. He's like, I trust my instincts. And my instincts are that silver is going to do well. I remember years ago buying silver, coming home here to the house, a bag of, it's actually 40%, whatever they were, 1964 to 69 Kennedy half dollars that were 40% silver and the rest was copper, and putting the bag on the kitchen table. I believed in silver. I believed in gold, right? This was when silver was like $14 an ounce. But I remember putting that bag down there, and in my heart, I believed in it, but I second guessed myself. I remembered exactly like thinking, is this foolish? Am I a fool? Right? I knew that silver was going to go higher, right? But I also, like, just from hearing other people and my neighbor, like, I thought maybe I'm a fool. But then I had a change, right? I came down, I did some more reading about silver and gold. I would always buy when the price went down, which was hard to do. right? But I knew I would read and I'd be like, no, this is real, right? Paper money, whatever, right? And now today I look back and I'm so glad I did it. And Bateman says, because I was trusting my instincts, I was trusting my heart. And that's what I would say to you. Look, don't listen to me, okay? Or do listen to me for about 10%. Listen to 9 other people that are talking about silver and gold. Listen to the other side and make up your mind for yourself, right? But when I look at the charts and I feel it in my hearts, I'm feeling really good about where it's going. All right, let's go to the Netherlands. You want to go to the Netherlands? And by the way, thank you to my regular sponsors of the channel, First Mint, the silver specialist. You can check them out. They've got world-class silver bullion products at firstmint.com and First Mining Gold. Massive, 2 massive development stage gold projects in Canada. Du Parquet in Quebec and Springpole in Ontario. Millions of ounces of ground, gold in the ground. You can learn more about them at firstmininggold.com. Let's go to Netherlands. We talked earlier about the United Kingdom. They're a big bullion dealer, kind of turned off their website for a little bit. We talked about China. We talked about Australia. Everywhere there's craziness. But what about the Netherlands? I forgot I needed to share this with you. And we get this post. Oh, I know why this one's so important. This is from William Middlecoop. And William Middlecoop has almost 200,000 followers. He's a big analyst, a big smart guy in the world of gold and silver, super trusted. He said a gold and silver dealer in the Netherlands just informed they no longer take any new physical silver orders. He says these metal wars are clearly kicking into high gear. Paper sells lead to physical buys. Meaning, yes, people sell paper, but they are buying physical. Guys, no matter where we look, China, okay, Australia, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, when we look at the chart and feel it in our heart, we know the future looks super bright for silver and gold. If you're looking for a fun, interesting way to store your silver and gold, where to go? Don't forget. You want to be like a pirate? I'll explain why. This awesome. Thank you, upstairs, Susie. Don't forget. You want to be like a pirate? Right? Dirty man safe. There's a sleeve. You bury these in the ground. Look, maybe you have a safety deposit box. Maybe you've got a fireproof, quote unquote, safe at your house. Whatever. I store my stuff offsite, but everybody's different. If you want to store something precious to you, and you want to do it like the pirates did, and it worked for thousands of years in the ground, okay, right? Safe from fire, flood, everything. Check out Dirty Man Safe. They're really awesome. There's a discount code RON10 in these things. You may be thinking, oh, it's a piece of pipe, blah, blah. No, these are cool. When this showed up, I was like, wow, these are really, really awesome. You unscrew the bottom. You put whatever you want in there. I bet you could put hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gold or a lot of silver. It seals up. They're very robust. It's just something really awesome about these things. They get buried in the ground, put dirt over it. Don't like make a Facebook post about where you buried it, but tell at least one person, not me, don't trust me, but somebody else that you trust. And then you've got some buried treasure in your yard, just like those darn pirates. And everybody, please, in the comment section, I couldn't be here on any level without the help and support of this wonderful woman right here. I'm tearing up. That's upstairs Susie. For those of you who are new, that's my lovely wife. She locks me in the basement and then communicates via walkie-talkie. And she just said that we have a super chat, super sticker. So I want to go out and say thank you. Never expected, always appreciated. But wow, Dwan's World. Thank you, Dwan. I'm going to pull you up. $20 super sticker. I'm spoiled. Thank you, my friend. Guys, it's going to be interesting tonight when, okay, there we are. Thanks again, Dwan. Hold on. We're having some tech issues. Are you there? Can you hear me? It's going to be interesting tonight when the U.S. Western markets open up for gold and silver. It's going to be even more interesting, okay, when the Chinese market opens up. Be ready for anything. Just remember, take a step back, look at the big picture. When it comes to gold, when it comes to silver, what we need to think about are the long-term fundamentals. Okay. And when I think about that, me personally, I feel really good. Okay. I'm going to ring the golden gong 4 times for you. Hold on. Let's check in with upstairs, Susie. Susie, how many likes did we get today, sweetheart? Over?
You're at 545.
500 likes. We'll ring.
You ring the silver bell, like the cowbell.
It resonates. I love that. Okay. Susie wants me to ring the cowbell. We'll do that. All right, guys. We joke around, we have fun, but we're really here for serious business, right? Hey, well, look, we love to have fun. We love to laugh. But what we really are here for are gold and silver, protecting ourselves, protecting our family. It's a wild ride. I'm really spoiled to get to do it with you. Thank you for coming down here in the basement. I want you to come back. Don't forget. Oh, wait a minute. Wow. This is another super sticker. Holy moly. From Kim Waxman. 90.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, both are super nice. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Dwan. Wow, I'm super spoiled on many levels. Okay. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless, but thank you guys. Okay. I want you to have a great day. No matter what happens tonight, let's keep a long-term perspective. Don't forget to subscribe. Come back down here in the basement. I hope you feel like you got a friend, some great companionship. This is a wonderful community. Take care. Okay. And I'll see you, yes, you, next time.